Do you like my picture? David, who's taking the photographs, took it, and I absolutely love it, because you look at that picture and I think you think, dyke. And what I like about that is that's the picture that the NHS will always see of me when I'm here at the Royal Free Foundation Trust. So that picture says, I hope, to anyone who comes to work here and anyone who works with us, that not only do we have two people through our BAME on our non-exec board, but we also have somebody who possibly could be a lesbian. In my lifetime, I have gone from a situation where that fact about me would have stopped me getting a senior role to a situation where people are now so thrilled they've got a lesbian on their board that they send a press release out. This is absolutely true. Some of the people in the room will know this. When I joined this organisation, I also became chair of something called the Legal Ombudsman about the same time. And the Legal Ombudsman, which is a bit of a stuffy organisation, to be completely blunt with you, sent out a press release which basically said, we have a lesbian as our chair. So a lot has changed in my lifetime, but I want to show quickly a film. It's a film I took part in. It's only a couple of minutes long. It's quite sweet, and I want to have you look at the film, and then we're going to talk a bit about it. Thanks. Catherine and I met on a dating site called Pink Sofa.
Well, we were going out together for about a year and we decided to move in together. I thought a year's very quick, but then she came out with the line, well, what are you waiting for?
We'd met at a really terrible lesbian night, and then next thing you know, we're moving in together. We live together and work with each other. I think it works because I have the best time with her. I'm never bored.
Louise and I met in Topman. We moved in pretty quickly. I was from South London, she was in North London. I was with a boy, she was with a girl. And yeah, now we're planning our wedding for next year.
Being lesbians in our 30s, it does have its challenges, yeah.
Moving in as a gay couple is different from moving in as a heterosexual couple. I like coming out again.
Sealing the gay deal?
Yeah.
When I told my family that I was moving in with Jade, it wasn't a shock.
Everyone was really accepting and understanding and happy for us.
When you're much older, it is quite difficult to make a life that's new for both of you. We got married in Bright Pavilion and she walked in wearing red satin and looking spectacular.
We were both married before. I was married to a man and I've got 2 grown-up children.
And I was civil partner to a woman.
Everyone thinks it's easy being a lesbian these days, but it's not.
It's just the underlying sort of message that it's not a proper relationship.
It's only now really becoming the norm to see 2 women get married and 2 women have kids.
When I came out of my marriage, it felt really difficult. I'm Irish, I'm Catholic. It was a long time ago. My 2 kids never objected. They could see we were happy.
When I told my mum I was moving in with Emily, she's really cool with it because she's gay herself, so it's not a big issue.
I didn't actually tell my family until almost like a year after, really. My family's Catholic, you just don't feel 100% accepted. So Amy's sort of called my friend quite a lot.
When I first told my dad, he was like, oh, I wanted grandkids. Still can have grandkids, like everything still works. I can't anticipate there being any problems when we go to get a mortgage and say, this is my wife.
I'm old enough to be in a situation where 2 women really struggle to get a mortgage. This woman looking at us both and saying, sisters?
I think we're really lucky to live where we live and to have the parents and the families that we have.
We don't lie about our relationship, we are blatantly together to everyone. I'm not angry with people that have a problem with it. They need to be educated about it. I reckon my mum, as an older lesbian, has it easier because they care less about what people think and are happy.
No, I mean, we are much more accepted. We don't take no for an answer.
It is a lot more acceptable to be gay now, be anything now. There's so much more opportunity. That's what I believe.
Thank you. So, I hope you thought that was sweet. I'm afraid I've never met the other two couples, but they do seem very nice, don't they? What's interesting to me is that the filmmakers came to us with the following belief. The young lesbians would have a fantastically easy time, they would be completely out and they would have no problems. The black lesbians would have had cultural issues and horrible parents, I mean I summarise, and we as the old people would be closeted. By the way, my wife Catherine would hate me saying the old people. But actually, as you can see from that, it was actually different. The two people who were completely out are myself and my wife. The younger, I think they looked to me about in their 30s, black couple, had a couple of issues around, we want grandchildren, but once that was over, their parents had settled down. And it was the two younger women who had one of them who was actually basically not really telling her parents what was happening. And I showed that film, A, because I think it's sweet, but also because it makes me remember something, which is that we make the assumption that it's got so much easier and that young people have a much easier life than we oldies had. And I don't think that's the case. I think for all of us, the experience of coming out is different, and where we come from culturally may make a difference, or it may not. And I just wanted to say that when we are talking about things like the LGBT group here, which I, by the way, think is absolutely fabulous, and I've gone on and on about it in other forums, we do just need to remember that not everybody feels as confident, not everybody is really, really comfortable. So the first time by the way, they're brilliant at finding you. You may not know this, but they have a lesbian and gay detector going, and trans, I'm sure. So the minute I arrived in the building, they went, would you be interested in the LGBT plus group? I felt like saying, what makes you think that? But not everybody wants to be on a list of 150 names for all of these events. And I think there's just an issue that we all need to address carefully, which is how do you create things that are positive for LGBT plus people, but also help other people who are feeling less confident to be participating and to come along and to take part in things like this, or just to feel they have the support. So I'm going to give you another couple of examples of where I think support's important and why I think these sorts of organisations is important. I used to work for a travel company called Thomas Cook, big foreign exchange and travel company. And when I arrived, your partner didn't have healthcare benefits. So you got, at the time I'm afraid it was PPP or Bupa, I can't remember which, but your partner did not, because they only did it for real. My quote from the HR director, David's going to go, oh my God, we only give it to real marriages. So I fought to get this as a point of principle, and I'm sitting in my office and the HR director comes to me and he said, look Wanda, this is ridiculous, you're making so much fuss about this. You are the only person who's going to benefit from this. And in front of me is an open plan office with 200 people in it, and literally from my office, not swiveling my head, I could see, I think it was 7 or 8 other lesbians or gays. Right? But of course, they hadn't come out and they hadn't said they were, because the HR director had that sort of feeling. So that's the other thing that I think we need to take into account. Groups like this are important because it gives visibility. It gives people the bravery to go to HR, to line management, to other groups and say, this is not acceptable. And I'm absolutely clear that the senior management, which of course also includes a dyke, is very, very positive to the LGBT group. But what I am more concerned about is what our colleague over there talked about, which is the intersectionality. So if you look at the board of the non-exec, the non-exec board, we also have 2 people from BAME groups, which I think is very positive. But at the next layer down, we are not seeing the same sort of inclusivity. So for me, it's a real mixture of making sure the LGBT plus group is very strong, that people who aren't brave enough to put their name on an email still have contact and support and can feel that they won't be discriminated against. And in addition, I absolutely agree with what Ruth from Stonewall said, which is that you can't support one group and not support other groups. This is about inclusivity, and it's about really making sure that if someone you know said to you, oh, I've just seen a job description, seen a job, senior nurse, or porter, or doctor, Royal Free, good place to work. You want people to be able to say absolutely confidently, yes, it is a great place to work, whether you are from the BME community, whether you're disabled, whether you are X or Y, it doesn't matter, because here we respect people totally. And I want you to know, to the extent that the non-execs do actually technically run the place, I know it doesn't always seem like that, but we do technically run the place, that we are absolutely, utterly and totally committed to equality for all groups of people, and we do that for two reasons. We believe it is morally right. Secondly, we do it because we believe we want the best people, and it's absolutely in the interest of the Royal Free group that the best people have no reason to not come to us, that they will always want to work here and to enjoy life with you. So, thanks very much for listening to me. I hope the rest of the day is really successful. I'm afraid I have to go off to be in one of my other jobs where they're thrilled I'm a lesbian. But I really hope the rest of your day is successful. Thanks very much.